The concept of biblical free will often appears to be in tension with divine omniscience, yet a synthesis of classical philosophy and modern science reveals a watertight case for human agency. Central to this defense is the Boethian perspective of nature of eternity. As the 6th century philosopher Boethius argued, God exists outside the temporal stream in an eternal now. He does not predict the future, he observes it as a present reality. Consequently, his knowledge is a consequence of human action, not its cause. This is reinforced by St. Augustine's distinction between, quote, knowledge and causality. Just as a witness's observation of a crime does not compel the criminal to act, God's passive knowledge of a choice does not necessitate the will's movement. To refine this, Thomas Aquinas introduced the distinction of necessity. While it is conditionally necessary that an event happens if God sees it, the event remains absolutely free in its origin. For instance, if you choose to sit, God sees you sitting. The necessity is merely a logical consistency between the act and the observation, not a mechanical coercion. This logic is further bolstered by Luis de Molina's, quote, middle knowledge, which suggests God knows all counterfactuals, or rather anything a person would do freely given any circumstance. This allows God to sovereignly govern the world through, rather than in spite of, genuine human freedom. Even modern physics supports this openness. Theologian John Polkinghorne noted that quantum indeterminacy refutes a clockwork universe, providing a scientific framework for top-down agency. However, critics often point to the, quote, left hand of God, citing instances where God, quote, hardens hearts. An example would be Pharaoh in Exodus, or directs calamity even. Skeptics argue that this suggests a puppet master deity. Scholars rebut this by noting that, quote, hardening is often a judicial response to a heart that is already freely turned away. In Hebrew idiom, God is often said to, quote, do what he merely permits as a consequence of human rebellion. Thus, divine sovereignty does not hijack the will, rather, God's infallible knowledge tracks our freedom with perfect precision. If you were to choose differently, God's knowledge would simply reflect that alternative choice, proving that while his gaze is fixed, our steps remain our own.